Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. I don't even know how to start this, but we have been gone for quite a long time. We have been gone for over a month. It's been about a month and a half, close to 2 months since I have last uploaded a video. And if you guys have been following our journey and stuff, my whole pregnancy journey, you guys know that I was pregnant with a little girl. Her name was Lucia Alíz, and we had her June 15th 2020. I don't know how to start this. I don't know how to say it. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to say this, so I'm just going to go back to the third day that she was with us, where I was going to start vlogging for you guys, and I was gonna do like a little story time of her life after she was born. And so here it goes. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. I know you guys are expecting a labor and delivery video. Ours is going to be a little bit different than any other video that you guys have ever seen. So it's kind of gonna be like a story time. Right now you guys saw us driving into the hospital and stuff, but we've actually been here for, this is our third day here. So everything happened a little bit differently. So we got here Monday, June 15th. I'm gonna start from the beginning. We got here Monday, June 15th. At 8 o'clock in the morning. Everything happened so fast, you guys. I had never been scheduled. I wasn't induced or anything. I was just sent here to be scheduled for a C-section by my doctor. And so we get here at 8 o'clock in the morning. They put me in the room by 8:30, 8:15, 8:30. By 9 o'clock I already have my IV in, which is right here. Still have it in. And by 10 o'clock they were already, before 10 o'clock they were already wheeling me in to the OR. I was supposed to get a spinal block, which I did get. That was the sort of epidural that they were going to put on, or anesthesia, plus an epidural for backup. I will insert a picture here on the side. I had 4 failed attempts of the epidural. I wasn't able to get that at all, but they poked me 4 different times. And everybody was surprised because the doctor who was the anesthesiologist who was performing all of that was the best one in the hospital, and they're the one that they call when other anesthesiologists aren't able to like put it in. And she couldn't do it because my scoliosis is so bad. I guess it's gotten worse over the years, because with Grecia it was a breeze. Like, it was super fast, super easy. They didn't have any trouble, but they had to do it 4 times, so I was in pain. By the 5th time she was gonna try again one more time, and she said if I can't get it in, we're gonna end up doing a general anesthesia, which is where they put you to sleep completely. And if we would have done that, Bert wouldn't have been able to have been in the room when she was born. So at that moment I started praying so hard, telling God, please don't put me under, let it work. The 4th time I think she was able to get it in, but just the IV. So she was like, I'm not even gonna try the epidural, we're just gonna go straight in with the spinal block. And as soon as they went in, they were like, okay, we need to move fast because we don't know how long we have for like the numbing or whatever. So after that, it all happened so fast. By the time I knew it, Bert was in the room. Again, we weren't able to record her birth because it was a C-section, and they don't let you record all that, or like they just let you take pictures. So I am gonna be inserting pictures here so that you guys can meet my sweet little girl. I did end up getting stitches once they stitched me up and stuff. Baby girl was born weighing 7 pounds 3 ounces at 11:37 in the morning, and she was 18 inches long, and she's just so small compared to Grecia. Grecia was born 7 pounds 11 ounces 19.5 inches long. So it's not that much of a difference, but you can definitely tell, like, Lucia is so small, she's a little shrimp. But I will be inserting pictures of her here as I go and talk about it and stuff. They took her away right away to the warmer to assess her and stuff. She came out so pink, you guys. Her color still is amazing. She has an amazing color to her. She's so pink. She's got the lightest brown curly hair. She looks so much like Grecia, but at the same time, like, she's her own little person. It's insane. I just love her so much. For the past 3 days, she has not been needed to put on oxygen or anything. She's breathing on her own. They did have to put 2 lines through her umbilical cord to keep her PDA open. If you guys know, she was born with a heart defect, HLHS, also known as hypoplastic left heart syndrome. And we're also currently waiting on results from the genetic doctors about Turner syndrome. So the day she was born, Bert spent almost all day with her in the CICU, the cardiac intensive care unit, while I was in recovery. And then that night at 11:30 is when I was able to see her. So I went like a full 12 hours without seeing her. While he was there with her, the genetic doctor had actually gone in to see her, assess her also, and they were very happy to say that she doesn't show any of the physical features that babies with Turner syndrome has. So that was really comforting to hear. But of course, we still have to wait for the blood test results, and I think we're gonna get those right now. We're actually gonna head out to the ICU unit right now, but Bert's in the shower. So you guys will be seeing her at her official 3 days of being born. But I was finally able to shower today. I feel human again and I feel good. I've been walking, moving around. I have my binder on, and then this little thing is for, it's like a vacuum for down here. I'm still a little swollen and I don't think that goes away anytime soon, but I feel great. I'm gonna wait for Bert to get out of the shower so that we can head on over to see my little bug. looking up videos like this to see like how you make one of these videos, like how do you start one of these videos. But basically we lost our baby. She was born with HLHS, which is also known as hypoplastic left heart syndrome. If you guys can hear my oldest daughter in the background, she's in the bubble, she's taking a bubble bath right now, so that's why you're gonna hear her talking and splashing away and stuff. And this was really the only time that I had to film this video. My husband and I have been we really didn't know, I still don't know what to say, how to say it, but we've been debating coming back to YouTube, when we were gonna do it and how soon we were gonna do it and stuff. And it's just hard because I'm gonna tell you guys right now, I'm gonna try my hardest not to cry, but it's going to be really hard not to. So you guys might want to grab a box of Kleenex if you guys are interested in hearing what happened. I don't even know where to start. I'm gonna start back at when they first told us that she was gonna be born with a defect, if you will. At my 12-week checkup, they did do the blood work where they take out your blood to basically check the gender of your baby, which is the only reason why I got that test done. With Grecia, when I was pregnant with her, she's gonna be 4 in December, so she's almost 4 years old. With her, I never got that genetic test done because my insurance back then didn't cover it. Not the genetic test, the gender, to find out the gender of the baby. Our insurance didn't cover it, so when I was pregnant with her, we never got that blood work done at 12. It's between 10 to 12 weeks, so I never got it done. With Lucia, I had a whole different doctor, so he did offer, if I wanted to find out the sex of the baby, that I could always go get my blood drawn. And in that test, it was also going to be a genetic test, so they test the genetics of the baby to make sure that everything's fine, that everything's healthy, and obviously the sex of the baby. So they did tell us that she was a girl. All the other tests that the test looks for came back perfect, except there was a showing, I don't know the exact term, so I'm sorry, but there was like the test did pick up that there was a percentage of her having Turner syndrome. So at first that's what they had said, you know, there's a chance that your baby might be born with Turner syndrome. Well, what the heck is Turner syndrome? We've never heard of that before. Like, what is that? What is that? So right away I get on Google. If you guys want to Google for yourself what it is, I'm just gonna give you the gist of what they told us it was gonna be, or what I know from what I've researched. So Turner syndrome hits females only. It's very, very, very rare for a male to have Turner syndrome. There has been cases, but it's very rare. A lot of these women who have Turner syndrome, or girls, females, whatever you want to call us, don't find out that they even have Turner syndrome until they're a lot older, because Turner syndrome basically affects fertility, your hormones. It does mess with your puberty. It's very hard for, like, if you find out that you have it very young or while you're pregnant or whatever, you are going to know that I was told that Lucia was probably never going to be able to have a baby of her own. It was going to be very hard for her to go into puberty by herself. She probably would have had to have gone on hormone, or like those shots daily, or be put on a growth hormone, take a growth hormone every single day for the rest of her life, starting at like the age of 1, to get them to grow. They are very short. Most of these women, I think, don't grow over 5 feet tall. Physical features, that's one. They're very, very short. Most women also have a very widened neck. Their eyes, I believe, are very far apart. The ears can be low. There's just several physical features that come with having Turner syndrome, right? So once we saw all of that, we said that's fine. you know, whatever she's gonna be born with, it's fine. We're still gonna love her the same regardless. She's our baby. God sent her to us, so it doesn't matter whether she has it or not. We're going to love her just the same, if not more. After that doctor's appointment, my OB ended up sending me to MFM, which is maternal fetal medicine, where I had to go get further testing done. And after that, I was put down as high risk, like being a high-risk pregnancy. So I started going to the Driscoll clinic in Laredo, but there is a Driscoll hospital in Corpus. So I started going there, and they just did a whole bunch of different ultrasounds. They did tell us that if I wanted to do an amniocentesis, which at that point I denied because of the risk of having, because of the risk of getting an amniocentesis. You can sometimes go into early labor and stuff, and at that point I believe I was only 16 weeks. So if I would have had her at 16 weeks, we would have lost her. And I said, it doesn't matter, like, it doesn't matter if she has the syndrome or not. Like, it's not a necessity for me to get checked to make sure that she has it, because I'm still gonna have her. Mind you, the doctor that was there did give us the option to abort because she was going to be born with that syndrome. And I wanted to punch the doctor, because it doesn't matter what she was going to be born with. She was my baby, right? So then all of the extra ultrasounds and tests and stuff that they did would take life. I would literally go in there and I would be in there for about 2 hours, where they were just doing ultrasounds and stuff. And because of COVID, to top it off, the cherry on top, I had to go through all of these appointments and stuff by myself, scared, without knowing what the heck they were telling me, because I didn't know, like, what are these syndromes to begin with. You don't hear about them. At least I had never heard about them. Like Turner syndrome, I had never heard of that in my life. I didn't even know that was a thing. So just going through everything, and then having COVID, coronavirus or whatever on top of it, just made everything a little bit worse. So after my, I think I was 18 weeks, because I started having appointments every 2 weeks really early on in my pregnancy. I had to go really often. And at that point, they completely stopped talking about Turner syndrome, because that's when they found HLHS, which is hypoplastic left heart syndrome. And they never mentioned Turner syndrome anymore. They had just started focusing on the HLHS. And basically HLHS is where the left side of your heart doesn't fully develop. So it's basically like you have half a heart, half of a working heart. They did tell us immediately, again, you know, your baby's gonna struggle. She's gonna go through hard times. She might not even make it. You can always abort. And again, I said, who am I to take her out when God was the one who sent her to me? He's the one who put her. You know? So I said again, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna do everything I can for my baby. I'm gonna be her voice, and I'm gonna fight for her. We kept going to the appointments and stuff, and each appointment just kept getting harder and harder and harder and harder, because every time I would go back, they were just telling me more and more bad news. I ended up being told that I was gonna have to relocate to Corpus at about 36 weeks pregnant, and at this point I think I was already like 20 weeks pregnant. And you know, I just was scared throughout my entire pregnancy, and I can say that I enjoyed every kick that I felt, but I was scared, and I felt that I was almost like robbed my pregnancy, because I was so confused at how I had already gone through one perfect pregnancy, and I have a perfect 3.5-year-old little girl. How could this be happening to me? And I guess I'm just gonna like talk about how I feel, because you guys know that I've always been like raw with you guys. I don't hide anything from you all, so I'm gonna tell you how I feel also as I go along. So that's how I felt my entire pregnancy. I never really said anything, except like my family knew how I was feeling and stuff, but or like my mom knew. With everybody else, I always tried to put on a strong face and stuff, and I felt like I kind of had to, because I have Grecia watching me 24/7. Going back to the pregnancy and stuff, I was already like 27 weeks pregnant, I think, when they ended up telling me that if she was going to be born with Turner syndrome and HLHS, which we already knew for a fact that she had, there wasn't going to be much that they were going to do for her. Babies who are born with HLHS require 3 open heart surgeries. The first one being as soon as they need it. It could be the first week of their life, it could be the 3rd day of their life, the first 2 weeks, the first 2 to 4 weeks. It just depends how soon they need it. The second surgery is anywhere between 4 to 6 months, and then the 3rd surgery would happen between the ages of 3 to 6. So those are the 3 main surgeries that these kids need, and each surgery does something different to fix the heart, but it's never going to be a perfect working heart. These babies are still only gonna have half of a working heart. They just go in with each surgery to try to fix different valves and stuff like that. So it doesn't mean that they're going to be healthy children after the surgeries, because they will never be healthy. They ended up telling me that, and I told them, you know what, if you're not willing to do anything for my daughter, if she is going to be born with Turner syndrome, which we weren't able to detect because I had denied the amniocentesis. If I would have gotten it done, we would have been able to have known, you know, she's gonna have full Turner syndrome, or she's gonna be born with, I even forgot what it's called. I forgot what the other term is called, but it's kind of like a not so advanced Turner syndrome. I don't know what it's called. I totally forgot what it's called. So throughout the rest of my pregnancy, I didn't know if she was gonna be born with full Turners or just like half of it. Once they told me that, I said, I don't want to go to Corpus. I don't want to be seen in Corpus. I don't want to be seen by these doctors anymore. I started following this Facebook group under Hypoplastic left heart syndrome, and I asked all the moms there, like, you know, this is what I was told today at my doctor's appointment. They're not willing to do anything if my baby's gonna be born with full Turner syndrome. What do I do? Where do I go? Like, what am I supposed to do from here? Like, how do you all have healthy, or, you know, healthy kids with half a heart? And we are from Texas, but we live in South Texas, and a lot of them told me that I needed to get myself to Houston, to the Texas Children's Hospital in Houston. By then I was already like 32 weeks pregnant. I almost had a heart attack, because how the heck am I going to change OBs? How am I gonna change hospitals and everything at 32 weeks pregnant? I didn't even know when she was gonna come, you know, with her having such diagnosis and stuff. Most of the time when they tell you that your baby has Turner syndrome, they don't even make, like, you are supposed to miscarry really early on in your pregnancy, and I never did. So that was always like a good sign to me. I felt like, she's here, she's kicking, that's a good sign. So that was my little sliver of hope that she was gonna be okay. And so I get on the phone right away. I start calling to Houston, I start calling different hospitals, and I get myself an appointment with a doctor in Houston, and I end up getting transferred. I did everything within a matter of days, and it was very stressful, to say the least, but I did it anyway. I got the help. I went to Houston and I got seen, and I was going to be treated in Houston from now on. So they did tell me in Houston, you're gonna have to relocate at 36 weeks, and at that point I think I was already vlogging more frequently, and if you guys have watched my videos, or if you guys want to watch the past videos to kind of understand a little bit more like where I'm coming from, because I gave you guys so much information on those videos, so if this one doesn't really make sense, which it probably doesn't, just go back and rewatch those videos. There's about 4 of them, so that you guys can understand a little bit more. So going back to her, I guess, due date was supposed to be June 17th. That is Bert and I's, or was our 9-year wedding anniversary. But she was born on June 15th, which is my dad's birthday also. So her and my dad share a birthday. My birthday is June 11th. So we were only a couple days apart, me and my little baby. So the scarier part didn't happen until after she was born, because we were kind of just working ourselves up to the day that she was born. They ended up telling me in Houston also that if she did have full Turner syndrome, there was gonna be probably nothing they could do. But my family and I kind of were hopeful, and we prayed so freaking much that she wasn't gonna be born with full Turner syndrome. I was scared to see how she was gonna be born, because I googled, and Google is the devil. Don't get on Google. And I saw that some babies with heart defects are born with like really blue or really pale, and that was my fear, like getting on the table, because I was a C-section, and having them hold her up to me and probably not hearing her cry, because after they cut the cord, like, she was gonna be doing all the work on her own. I was no longer going to be providing any help to her or for her. So that was like my biggest fear, was, is she gonna cry? Is she gonna be pink? Is she gonna be blue? What is she even gonna look like? Because from the very beginning, her head was already like way down in my pelvis, and I could never get an ultrasound picture of her face, of her profile, of nothing. She would never let us see her. And once I finally did, she was the most beautiful little baby. The doctors just, you know, they kept telling me the same thing. We won't know, we can't give you any answers until she's born. So the day got here, the doctor scheduled me June 15th. You're gonna come in, you're gonna have a C-section. I wasn't induced or anything. I did mention all of that at the beginning of the video, so you guys know, like, that little part. I'm laying on the table. I've already been tried to have gotten 4 epidurals. They were all failed. Finally, I just get the spinal block, so they have to work super fast because they don't know how long it's going to last, like the anesthesia. So the doctors say we have to work really fast, and hopefully the anesthesia doesn't wear off. So there I am laying there. She comes out yelling, crying. She comes out as cute as a button, and they did hold her up for Bert and I to see. None of us, or he wasn't able to hold her. I obviously couldn't, because I'm like laying there like this on the table. They just like let us see her for a little bit before they whisked her away onto the table to insert 2 little lines, IVs, into her umbilical cord. What the doctor's main goal was to keep her PDA open as long as possible so that we could get her to her first surgery. At that point, that was successful. They were able to do that. She was doing perfect. She went about 6 days without oxygen. She didn't need it. Her stats were perfect. She was breathing perfectly on her own. She just had monitors all over the place, which I'm sure you guys already saw in pictures that we took of her and stuff. And at that point, they also did the test for Turner syndrome to find out which one she was going to have, if it was going to be the full Turner syndrome or like the not so advanced one. They told us this test might take like 24 hours to come back. So those 24 hours were hell, because we didn't know what kind of surgery she was going to need, or if she was going to get a surgery. It was going to be a rough surgery, like open heart surgery on a tiny little helpless baby. So we just took those days. We just held on to those days for as long as we could. Every day after that, we were just with her the entire time. And while I was still admitted in the hospital. Both Bert and I were allowed to go see her together, but because of COVID, once I was released, only one of us was allowed to be with her every 24 hours. So say that I went one day, Bert wasn't going to be able to go the next day until 24 hours passed by. So we were never allowed to be in there with her together for like a day, because that's when things just went downhill. I was in the hospital for about 4 days. The first 4 days of her life, we were with her together every single day. And then that's when doctors just kept coming in. By like the 5th, 6th days, when they called us or called me and told me that she was gonna have to be put on oxygen because her breathing had already like started to slow down and she needed a little bit of help. And we were going back to the apartment. You guys know that we had to rent an apartment and stuff. We were with Lucia all day, and then at night we would go back to the apartment together because Grecia was back at the apartment with my mom and Bert's mom. While she was being born, my sister went to Houston. Bert's sister, his brother, his sister's husband, her daughter, my cousin and my niece were also there just to help with Grecia, and I guess to just be there for support and stuff. And them being there just helped so much because I was also so scared to leave Grecia behind. Before that, I had never spent a day without her, and I was so scared that she wasn't gonna sleep because she sleeps in our bed. I was just really scared. Like, that was one thing that I was really nervous about, was leaving her also. But I knew that once Lucia was gonna be born, my focus was gonna be on something else, and I knew that I was leaving Grecia in good hands with all her family and stuff. So she was really taken care of, and I'm pretty sure you guys are watching this, so thank you guys for being there. At like the 5th, 6th day, I don't even remember what day it was, but they did end up telling us that they were gonna have to put her on oxygen already. That's when things kind of started going downhill. I think by the 7th day is when we got the results back from her having Turner syndrome. And like they had said, if she did have the full Turner syndrome, they just yeah.
Are you done recording?
Almost.
What are you doing? What are you doing, Mom?
I'm filming something really quick. I'm almost done.
Okay. I'll say hi to the vlog, Mom.
Okay, hold on. All the doctors sat around us.
I'm here.
Doctors were coming in and out of the room. At that point, they let both Bert and I be in the room together, so I think we went like 2 days of taking turns to be in the room with her, and that was so hard. That was probably the hardest part, was having to be there in the room with her. I'll talk for myself, by myself, because I know that Bert was scared also. And then just being in there by yourself, having all of these doctors just constantly be coming in to talk to you and tell you stuff that you've never heard of is scary. Those 2 days that we had to like be there by ourselves were probably the hardest, because he's my rock. Like, I was able to stay strong for as long as I could when we were in there together, because we were there together. And I can say that now, we are strong. And at the time, so many people would tell us, like, you guys are so strong. And at that moment is when I felt the weakest. I felt like my life was, like I was losing a giant piece of myself because at that moment I already knew what was coming. The next couple days, the doctors, we were able to be in there together, and that's when the doctors came in and told us she was gonna have, or like she did have, full Turner's. Mosaic is the other one. That's the other term to her having the less like advanced Turner syndrome, is called mosaic. It's full Turner syndrome, and then mosaic is the one where they can sort of help, but it's still gonna be pretty hard to live with. Once they told us that it was full Turner syndrome, we knew that our moments with her, our hours with her, were counted. And after that, we were both allowed to be in there with her, and they told us, you know, eventually we're going to have to stop the medication, but it's all up to you guys when you guys are gonna want to stop it. And at that point, you could already tell that she was tired. We had to make the hardest decision of our lives in telling the doctors that to just stop the medication. We had to tell them to just stop the medication. First, we wanted to know if anybody else was going to be able to go in and see her. So our first thought was, if her time with us is limited, I guess, then I want her to go by herself when her time comes in her house. Houston from our house is over 5 hours away, so I told them, let us take her home. Let us take her home so that our family can meet her. She was supposed to be healthy, and everyone was so excited to meet her. So then we're talking to doctors, we're trying to make arrangements and stuff, and at one point it was looking like we were going to be able to bring her home, but then they started talking to us about, or I started freaking out, because I said, what if they stop the medication and something happens on our way home? We were going to take her home in our vehicle. What if something happened to her on the way home? What the heck were we going to do? Like, we would have had no idea what to do, how to help her. We opted to just, that idea wasn't going to be a good one. So after that, we just knew that we didn't want that to be an option anymore. And then they started talking to us about two other options, which were moving her into hospice, which is another little clinic outside of the hospital. There, I think we would have had 6 people be able to go in and see her. And they ended up telling us there too that even the road to moving her to hospice was going to be really hard on her, and those 6 people weren't going to be able to be in the same room with her at the same time. Like, we would have had to have been switching out every so often, and you know, we were gonna have to talk to them about the rules and stuff, and we didn't want to be selfish. We just wanted to spend as much time with her as we could. So we decided to just let her stay in the hospital, and they were nice enough to let both our moms go in and see her and Grecia. So Grecia got to meet her baby sister, and all she ever wanted to do was sing. All she ever wanted to do was sing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star to her. And she did. So they ended up stopping the medication. They took all the wires off, and she looked like the healthiest, most perfect baby. And I think that's the part that hurts me the most, is that she looked perfect to me. So at the time, I didn't understand, like, why is God taking her from me if she was perfect? About almost 2 days without the medication, until her heart just stopped beating. The last day we were with her for like a full 24 hours. We were with her until she stopped. And that was June 24th, the day before Bert's birthday. So June 24th, we were packing up all our stuff into 3 vehicles, and we were driving home. So now we're here. a family of 4, but our 4th piece of our puzzle is missing. I have her little picture right here. The doctors and nurses there were so kind to us. I'm gonna show you guys some things that the nurses did for us. They're so cute. So one of the nurses, it was Father's Day, and one of the nurses made this for Bert, and I just have it in this little plastic bag. But it just has her picture there. And then this little one here. Oh, she was so mad. These are my favorite pieces. It's a mold of her hand. So I will always have these with me, and I'm trying my hardest to find a way to like hold them or display them. So if you guys have any ideas, please let me know. I have no idea where to buy something to put them in, and I would hate for them to get dusty and stuff. So she had a really big foot. Little baby. Our little angel did gain her wings, so now we know that we have the most beautiful angel baby in the entire world. And that about does it for this video. If you guys have any questions about her, feel free to ask. Anything at all, just feel free to ask. We do want to start vlogging the way that we used to before all this happened. We never want to forget her, so I don't want you guys to feel like you can't talk to me about her. The only thing that I ask is that you guys not be sorry that we're going through this, because I'm not. I'm so happy that I was able to carry her full term, that she was born, that she was with us for 9 whole days, and that we met her, we loved her, we loved on her, we gave her so many hugs, so many kisses, and I'm not sorry for any of that. So I don't want to see you guys any comments saying I'm so sorry that you are going through this. If you guys are sorry for my pain, thank you. That you guys don't want me to be sad, thank you. And I'm not trying to be rude in any way. It's just hard to see message after message saying I'm so sorry that that happened to you, you know. So that's the only thing that I ask. The point of me doing this video was to share our story with everyone, in case anyone out there is going through the exact same thing. I hope that your story is not like ours, and I hope that your story has a happy ending. And if you're a mom watching this who has also lost a baby, whether it was a miscarriage, stillbirth, whatever it may be, just know that you are not alone. I just want to show you guys the process, our days, life after Lucia. So even though she's always going to be with us, she's all over the house. There's pictures of her everywhere, and we're just gonna keep vlogging because that was our normal. That was Grecia's normal. She's been asking me, how come we're not vlogging? That was our life before all this. So without filming videos, without filming what we do throughout the day, is just weird to us, and that just makes it a little bit more depressing. I don't want to be depressed anymore, so we're coming back. We might take little breaks here and there when the days get rough, but we won't be gone for as long as we did. I think this is the longest I've ever been gone. And I want to thank you guys for still subscribing, for those of you guys who stuck around our journey, who kept up with us, who messaged us on the daily asking if everything was okay. I appreciate you guys so much. We love you guys, and we will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.